The JuRY Show is brought to you, as always, by PayJuRyDaily.com. Oh, folks, what do you do? What do you say? What do you know? Welcome to the Justin Robert Young Daily Program. My name is Justin Robert Young. If you are watching us on YouTube or Twitch, not only do I have my fly-ass unicorn backpack t-shirt on, but I'm wearing the coat that I wore in our Kickstarter video and all of our press for Action News. Action News, of course, is my brand new party game. Brand new card game from Contender Games. That is John Teasdale and myself. It is available now. If you go to actionnewsgame.com, if you backed via Kickstarter, then please check your email. There's an email in there that'll lead you through a process to make sure that you get your game as fast as possible. So go ahead and hit that up. It is a great game. I'm excited to play it myself. But yeah, we had some issues at the end of last week, but it's rocking and rolling right now. Go, 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 go. All right. We will talk a little bit more about that going forward. But I got something that got into my craw. Here, you want to know what? I'm just going to play this here for you. This is a clip from CBS 3 in, well, I guess, Cologne, Michigan. Here we go.
And Michigan is putting a new spin on ride sharing. He's using his horse and buggy to give customers a lift. Check this out. Timothy Hochstedler calls his method the Amish Uber. He says not only do customers get where they need to go, but they get an incredible experience to go with it. So far, people who have tried the service are impressed by the horsepower.
We're going to be doing this week a lot of stupid news stories because that's kind of the point of Action News, the game of television news, which you can get now at actionnewsgame.com. But I want to get up in this. I'm frustrated, man. I get frustrated by this stuff. I'm just saying it just works me up. It works me up. This is why I get annoyed. I get annoyed with television news. Because literally the only thing that is here is this guy put a sign up on his horse that is a horse and buggy and it says Uber under it. But all he does, he's Amish. So initially, what I'm sure many of you thought is like, wait a minute, the cool thing about Uber is that it's an app on your phone. You say where you need to go, and somebody comes up, picks you up, and takes you. So if you're going to call yourself the Amish Uber, then you are to assume that, number one, there is a fleet of other ride-sharing buggy carriage drivers, right? And at the very least, even if it's just one dude, you've got to be able to flag him down somewhere. Probably over the phone. So immediately, my brain gets to working. Ooh, an Amish Uber. I bet you that's really cool. I wonder if, if you're an Amish dude, you're like, okay, well, I always hang out, I don't know, like by the barn or the butter churn or some shit. I don't know. If you if you're a terrible Amish person or you just fled after Rumspringa, then go ahead and please email me, JuRYDaily@gmail.com. But maybe, and I don't know, is this against being Amish? Let me ask the Amish folks this, if we're listening or not listening, if you know a lot about being Amish. Like, could you just say to somebody, or just say maybe out loud, like looking at the wall, man, it would be amazing if someone could build like an app where if they wanted a ride, it would just like ring a bell And I would know, okay, better get out there. They're going to come meet me over here, and they're going to get a ride on my horse in carriage. Maybe that's the case. Ooh, what if even more than that, it was like some sort of pigeon system? It ain't against being Amish to train a pigeon or some shit, right? Maybe it's like, okay, it's a small town here, Cologne, Michigan. I don't know if it's a small town. If you're in Cologne, Michigan, then I don't know. Let me know. But like maybe it's like, okay, well, you can ride Amish Uber, but you got to learn how to send a carrier pigeon so I know that I need to pick you up. Write down your cross streets, summon a pigeon, very gently, we're trying to be humane here, tie that cross streets on a small piece of parchment to the leg of the pigeon. Please let them know that you're going to Amish Uber. Just lift the little pigeon to your face and go like, Amish Uber. Amish Uber. It'll fly away. It'll go to this guy. He'll meet you at the cross streets, and then maybe he'll have some bottled water or some shit in the back. Maybe some gum. He's not going to be able to charge your phone. Unfortunately, in Amish Uber, the one thing you're not going to get is somebody who's like, oh, would you like the aux cable? No, that's not happening. Maybe he'll just hum the song. He'll hum the song that he wants you to hear. Like, oh, could you please play some Ariana Grande? And he's like, yes. Here are songs that I know at my own peril. I'm probably going to hell because I know that name. Wanna raise a barn? And then you go from one point to another. I mean, it can't be really all that far. Can't be really all that far because he's in a horse and buggy. But I was fascinated by the ride hailing element of this. This is the key element here. This is what I wanted to know. This is the reason why I clicked this link. I'm like, oh, this is a really fun story. I want to get to read it. You guys want to know what it is? You guys want to know? You guys want to know what? You guys want to know what this guy does to hail on Amish Uber? Do you guys want to know? I'll tell you. Here's what it is. Fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing. He literally just sits on the street. He sits on the street, and that's that. You walk up to him, and you're like, hey, can you give me a ride? And he's like, sure, I'll charge you money, I guess. $5. $5 for a horse and buggy ride. By the way, more expensive than some Ubers. So you're being charged a premium so you can find this fucking jamoke and then go get a ride in a horse and carriage. This is no different than literally any pedicab or any hansom cab, in any fucking city in the world. And normally in that kind of things, PETA's riding so far up their ass they can smell the horse's farts. So why does this motherfucker get cross into my world? I'm so annoyed. And the only reason why is because why am I, a person in Oakland, California, talking about this jackass in Cologne, Michigan right now? You want to know why? And this is actually kind of instructive to life in general. Here's why. This dickweed put up a fucking sign on his carriage. That's it. That's the only reason. He literally I don't know how he got that. Hey, fucker, who went into MS Paint and made that shit for you? I don't think that's legal. Can't do that. I know you didn't draw it. That definitely came out of some fucking Kinko's printer, number one. But he printed out a thing and then stuck it on the side of his horse and carriage. Somebody put it up on Twitter, and then local news covered it. You want to know why? Because local news is fucking useless. That's why. Local news is absolutely, at this point, it's not even just I'm going to cover stories poorly. It's I'm going to cover shit that was on Twitter. And really, the only thing that I'm going to do, literally, the only thing of any original worth that was provided by CBS 3 in Cologne, Michigan, was this shitty pun.
Have tried the service are impressed by the horsepower.
Get the fuck out of my face. Honestly, get the fuck out of here. Literally, this is all you did. You went to probably the same school I did, whoever wrote that. You went to Syracuse. You went to the S.I. Newhouse School of Public Communications. And this is what you do for a living. Your effective job is being a dumb pipe for fucking Twitter videos, and then adding this tag.
Who have tried the service are impressed by the horsepower.
Just jump in a river. Jump in a river. Jump in a river of death. Jump in a river filled with waking death. That's what I want that pun to do. I'm sure she's fine. I don't know if she went to Syracuse. I'm just saying that a lot of people who are in television news wind up going to Syracuse. All I'm saying is that I would like that pun to jump in a roiling river of acid and death, of vile sulfuric smells of Hades. That's what I want. And this fucker too. Where'd you get that sign? Someone alert the high chieftain of whatever, of Amishness. What do they have high? Do they have high chieftains of Amishness? I don't know. Let's go ahead and get into your emails. JuRyDaily@gmail.com, or leave a comment right here on the YouTube channel. Joe via email writes, a question for the expert. Thursday is a travel fun day before I go to work Friday through Monday. I bought tickets for the Nationals baseball game at 1:30 p.m. Should I drop cash for Wednesday night to guarantee I have a room to crash in after my transcontinental red-eye? I get to my hotel around 8 a.m. Do I chance that they'll give me my Thursday room first thing in the morning? Even with a room, should I nap for 3 hours or power through until 7 to 8 p.m. and then crash hard? I'm a big believer in your iPhone time is the only time that matters philosophy of travel. All right. So, Joe, you didn't say it, but I'm going to assume that you are well, you said transcontinental. So I don't know whether or not you're flying from England or you're flying from the West Coast to D.C. Either way, here's what I would say. If you don't travel a lot, if this is a big night, and the hotel, and it's reasonable, not a bad idea to get a hotel the night before just to make sure that you have it. In my experience, I've usually checked in early for hotels at about an 80% rate, including a few times in D.C. That varies by hotel to hotel. It's a more likely chance that you'll be able to do it on a Thursday morning as opposed to a Friday or Saturday morning. But you want to know what? I might even just call ahead and ask to request an early check-in on Thursday. See what they say. If they're like, no, then be like, all right, well, let me book for the Wednesday just to make sure. In general, when it comes to naps while traveling, if you're coming like across transatlantic time zones, it changes it a little bit. You might want to stay up through all of it just to make sure that you're acclimated. But if you're going from, let's say, like where I am in the Pacific time zone to the East Coast time zone, then get that quick nap in. Think of napping like charging your phone. If your phone is at 10% and you only have like 5 seconds to charge it, you might as well charge it for those 5 seconds. It's going to give you a little bit longer on the phone. Your phone doesn't like reward you like, yeah, you toughed it out and didn't charge at all. Think of like that. Think of naps like that, just in general. TJ via email wrote in about the crying kids I had on my flight yesterday. So I don't know how old the child was behind you, but I have a 1-year-old and can somewhat relate. I've never taken her on an airplane, but she's occasionally gotten fussy on long drives. Yes, a screen with her favorite song clips can calm her down. She will almost always calm down for the Skyrim theme. Feeding this crying child can work as well, but maybe the parent behind you only had a boob to pop out and no bottle or teething snacks, and maybe wasn't comfortable doing that on the plane. But what I am almost certain was happening is the baby was unable to equalize the air pressure in their sinuses, and that can be extremely uncomfortable and even painful. My brother's had this happen to him on a flight from England back to the States. He was in his late teens at the time and said it felt like it was going to pop. The attendants had a vial that had a strong smelling liquid that really helped, but I'm not sure that that could be used on children. So number one, that lady did pop her titty out and feed that kid, TJ. So feeding was done, but I kind of feel like either A, I should be shaming parents who do not come prepared for these trips, or at least the world, culture should shame these parents. Like, we understand that you had a kid. We understand that you have a special problem. Just saying. Always be prepared, right? Number two, I definitely think that these things, much like the vial that your brother sniffed to equalize his air pressure, there should be other things. The airline should be carrying emergency iPads with whatever the fucking, like, just the kid iPad with a bunch of kid stuff on it. I think that's a necessary thing. Ashley also has a problem with equalizing her air pressure. I've not been bad about it. All right, I challenge everybody to give me their airports around them, and I would, as a business traveler for several years, accurately predict or accurately name you from my memory. I've not looked any of these up, whether or not the rental car facility is on property or off property. Now, here we go. This has gotten off to a rough start. Kevin via email says Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I haven't been to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I don't know. Justin via YouTube says the Milwaukee Mitchell Airfield. Unfortunately, I've only ever gotten an Uber from there for a wedding once, so I don't know. Every other time that I did have a go game in Milwaukee, but I wound up flying in and out of Chicago and driving. So I don't know. But here we go. Tim 1986 via YouTube said Seattle, Tacoma. I have rented many a car, and I believe that Seattle, Tacoma is on property. So here's what's going to happen. After this is, in fact, no. Here, you want to know what? Go ahead. Find out whether or not it is on property in the chat and tell me whether or not I'm right or not. Bad Billy via YouTube says the Mayo ice cream toss-out video should be in the JuRY Video Hall of Fame. If there isn't a Hall of Fame, I nominate this video as the first inductee. I am totally on board with that. We need more videos to make a Hall of Fame, though. So maybe we need to figure it out. And finally, we had some comments about Alex Jones. Gibson from YouTube wrote, "Man, fuck Alex Jones. He's a sweaty-ass, balding, fat, crazy fuckface who deserves all the public hatred he's gotten for his disgusting behavior. I can't think of a single content creator who I would rather have off this site more than that dickweed, and this is the shithole where people like the Paul brothers thrive. However, I think it was terrible that he was removed from mainstream outlets like he was. I don't think that anyone's voice, no matter how aggravating, should be silenced, and the removal of Jones feels like an abuse of corporate power. There are always going to be people who say terrible, cruel things, and there are always going to be people who listen to them, and removing one of those voices is going to do more for those voices than anything else ever could. Because the voices which pop up to take the place of those which were removed will have more power than they would otherwise, because now they have a martyr to look up to." Stinky Pete the Pirate via YouTube said, delist that sumbitch. There's enough outlets for that horse shit. And Kenneth via YouTube said, Alex Jones is gone. Now who's next? You should start a Deadpool. I'll tell you, that's interesting. Just to list people I think that will be off YouTube. I mean, the next one would be the other InfoWars guy, right? Like Alex Watson or whatever. He's a dude that I always see Alex Jones retweeting on Twitter. He's like a British dude who talks in front of a map. And he's always like, the liberals are at it again. I don't know if that's a good impression. It might not be a good impression. If I didn't do a good impression, I don't know. Let me know. That about wraps it up. Was I right on Seattle? Can someone tell me if I was right on Seattle? I think I was right on Seattle. I think I remember walking across that walkway there and getting to their rental car facility. We have producers that we like to thank here on this show. The Jen, PD Rave, Kim Immel, and Rock and Roll Martian. If you want to support this show, head over to payjurydaily.com. Action News is available now, actionnewsgame.com. You can email the show, jurydaily@gmail.com. Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat @JustinRYoung, and hashtag join the conversation @diamondclub.reddit.com. Folks, that about wraps it up for this edition of the show. My name is Justin Robert Young, asking you very politely to please don't. Seattle has a rental car facility. I win!
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.